What's good, fam? In this video, we are going to be doing what I have been calling paper staining. For that, we will need our silicone mat, 2 pieces of paper because we're going to try it 2 different ways. I just ripped these pages out of my sketchbook. Our dual tip markers, or any water-based markers that you have. Our oil pastels, and a paintbrush for mixing. We are going to start off by doing what I usually call color squares, but these ones will be rectangles because we want them to be a little bit taller than what we typically do. And we're going to put them right in the middle of our silicone mat to give us more working space for dipping our paper into. So start off by choosing 3 colors. I'm going to go with my tried and true pink, purple, and blue. I'll use this dusty pink and this dusty blue. Okay, so like I said, we're starting off making color rectangles. I gotta figure out which I want on each place. So I'm gonna put my purple in the middle. I'll put my blue here and pink here. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with my purple one in the middle. I'm just going to trace out a little square or rectangle. Just gonna trace out a rectangle and color it in. And just like our usual color squares, I'm gonna go over the coloring a couple times. I think I'll do about 3 times. Okay, do my blue. I'm leaving about a 2-inch space in between so that when I add water, they don't automatically bleed into each other unintentionally. Okay, and I completely forgot to say, you will also need water and your little eyedropper. Okay, I've got my water, my little cup, and my dropper. And I am going to start off with about maybe 10 drops for this. And I'm going to do them across at different places. 2, 3, I guess it already wanted to start. Oh, 10. Now we are just going to mix up the color. I can already see I'll need more water. And notice how as I'm mixing this one, I'm trying to keep the mixing in the same shape as the rectangle I originally drew. Because the reason we made it into a rectangle was so the width of the paper would be pretty much covered when we go to dip it. So just keep that in mind as you are mixing it up. Just kind of spread it out as much as you can. Since I had to add more water to that one, I know I'll need more in these ones before I contaminate the water with blue. This actually looks really cool, especially this pink one. This one definitely wants to go into a small puddle, so just having to spread it out on my own. Oof, this one even more than the purple. probably just have to work with the way that I move the paper into the puddle. All right. Now it is time. We are getting piece of paper number 1, and what we're going to do the middle first is pinch these 2 short ends together with our finger lightly because you don't want to create a crease here. And using one hand, let me position myself right, just going to roll it, roll it, kind of back and forth. You give it a chance to sink in. Some of the drops off so that it will dry quicker. There's not too much water on it. Moving it, but keeping it still pinched so it still has that kind of rolly nature. Tap it off on the dry parts. Okay. Got our first stain, the purple right in the middle. And now we're going to kind of roll it onto here. Roll this end. Flip it too, because this bigger puddle is mainly only at the bottom. So I'm just going to try to flip it around. Oh, these are good side by side. And this reminds me of our ink symmetry blocks. Okay, now for the last color. This is probably where things will get messy because the other sides are going to want to drip. Just roll it off, roll it off, roll it off. Okay, get the excess off as much as I can. And look at that. We have stained our paper. I think it looks pretty cool in my opinion. Has that kind of like watercolor effect. I definitely see that right here. It layered on each other as we dipped it more than once. And the bleeding that's happening here is also very cool. I kind of want some bleeding from the pink to the purple also, so maybe I'll move it closer too so that you can just roll it off. There we go, yeah. Some pink and purple action. Mix a little bit and get up here. Yeah, this looks pretty cool. What we've been noticing the last few videos when we've used the water-based markers is these colors are a lot lighter when you add water to them. They're not as pigmented, but it's still a very cool effect. But that is why we're also going to try the same thing with the pastels, which are much more rich in pigment and typically have been yielding us more rich colors when even after we add water to them and then apply them to paper. So I'm going to just go set this aside to dry and we will clean this up and start on the oil pastel paper staining. Okay, time to try it with the oil pastels now, and I must say that I am excited. We're gonna choose the same color scheme because it is my tried and true. Let's do this pink here. And I'm gonna do this darker purple that I had used in one of the first videos and use this darker blue because I'm really going for pigment this time. I don't want it to be a subtle watercolor. I want it to be a BAM! Watercolor. Okay, so I'm gonna make my color squares this time. I'm gonna actually just start from this color here so I'm not worried about dipping my hand in. I'm gonna go about it the same way as usual and as I did with the markers. But this time, I think I'm only gonna do 2 layers because as you see the little crumbs that come off, those produce a lot of pigment every single time. Hopefully this one doesn't puddle up like the marker ink did. I don't think it will, because since this is thicker and there's metallic in it, the metallic little sparkles in it typically weighs it down so that it can kind of keep a certain shape, or at least maintain a wider shape. Sweet. So for these, since I needed more water than I had initially anticipated with the markers, I'm going to just go ahead and double this straight off top, since the pastel is of course much thicker. Even the way it's spreading onto this, it's as if the water's being extra needy, whereas the marker was like, feed me when the water arrived. This water is like, why don't you want me? Fourth, I'm going to start with the pink since that's lighter, so it won't taint the water as much. See how it's already still holding shape? Mainly because of that metallic. I told y'all. Seeing as how long this is taking to break up the chunks, just breaking up all these chunk-alongs, what I might do is activate the purple next and go ahead and do the dip. Both dips. Mix it up real nice and fresh so that some of that metallic rests at the top, so that when I dip it, it will end up on the paper, because the metallic portion, I can tell, really likes to sink to the bottom. Okay, nice and mixed. Okay, let's be quick about it. Let's dip this into the purple. Once again, just pinching the middle. Now angling myself. Oh, this is like a solid kind of like color block this time around. I kind of like it. And I think it'll look really cool with all of them stacked together. So I just gotta mix the, where's it right here? Because I need to mix up this again so that more of the metallics at the top. Nice and rectangular, so you get a nice solid color block like we did with the purple. So I'm just gonna roll it, slowly. There we go. That was a good dip. Look at that. Good drip some. Okay, got most of it off. Let me set it here. Now we're finally gonna mix up our blue so that it's fresh and ready to use. Okay. Metallic at the top so that we are ready to dip. Okay, quick dip. Ooh, just gonna kind of try to hold on to a corner and slow roll it. Slowly. Ooh. There we go. Ooh, look at this fully stained paper here. And we accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, which was rich with a capital CH at the end. Pigment with a capital pig. Look at that. I think that turned out super cool. Yep, there that is. We just stained some paper. Did some paper dipping. I guess I'll see y'all next time. Bye.